The president's Twitter account posted the other day, "You want to bring down inflation, let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share." Mm-hmm. How does raising taxes on corporations reduce inflation?
Are you talking about a specific tweet?
He tweeted, "You want to bring down inflation, let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share."
Peter Doocy is a real pro. Reads out Joe Biden's tweet, word for word, twice, followed by a concise follow-up question.
How does raising taxes on corporations reduce inflation?
You commie fag.
Look, we have talked about this past year about making sure that the wealthiest among us are paying their fair share. And that is important to do, and that is something that the president has been working on every day when we talk about inflation and lowering costs. And so it's very important that as we're seeing costs rise, as we're talking about how to build a America that's safe, that's equal for everyone and doesn't leave everyone behind. That is an important part of that as well.
Okay, so after that word salad, let's focus on what the question actually was. How does increasing taxes on corporations reduce inflation? Now, the Fox News journalist Peter Doocy is actually very clever here because Joe Biden's tweet didn't specifically say that. It just said, let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share. So perhaps what the tweet is suggesting there is that some of the wealthiest corporations are avoiding or evading taxes in some way. Now, Karine Jean-Pierre is not some new kid out of college. She's 47 years old and has been working for the best part of 20 years in politics. The reason she is going to be terrible at her job is because for 20 years, all she's done is work on campaigns and work for left-leaning organisations like MSNBC News. The role of White House press secretary is very, very different. You're going to have to face the media on a very regular basis and face difficult questions, much more difficult than, hey, what does this tweet mean? How does increasing taxes on corporations reduce inflation?
But how does raising taxes on corporations lower the cost of gas, the cost of a used car, the cost of food for everyday Americans?
Well, obviously it doesn't. To be fair to Karen at this point, it's a ridiculous thing to defend. You can't conflate those two ideas. Obviously, you can increase taxes on who you like, and that's not going to reduce inflation. If anything, it's going to make it worse because prices are going to go up. One would expect that in the job description for White House press secretary, albeit on her first day in the job, that one of the skills you should have in that role is the ability to deflect difficult questions.
So look, I think we encourage those who have done very well, right? Especially those who care about climate change, to support a fair tax code that doesn't charge manufacturers, workers, cops, builders a higher percentage of their earnings.
The White House press secretary is going to have to do better in future. Got to be able to think on the spot, Okay, what's she trying to argue here? Because obviously, increasing taxes on corporations does not reduce inflation. We understand that. But maybe she could say, well, maybe it doesn't reduce inflation, but it could help to alleviate the negative effects of high rates of inflation. No, making sure that the wealthiest corporations do pay the taxes that they owe ensures that while purchase power reduces in a period of high inflation, the infrastructures are in place, the public services are going to do a good job to help the neediest in society. God, I should be White House press secretary.
That the most fortunate people in our nation, and not let that stand in the way of reducing energy costs and fighting this existential problem, if you think about that as an example. And to support basic collective bargaining rights as well, right? That's also important. But look, it is, without having a fair tax code, which is what I'm talking about, then like manufacturing workers, cops, it's not fair for them to have to pay higher taxes than the folks who are not paying taxes at all.
If that's the job she's going to do, she might be better off taking a leaf out of Donald Trump's book and just ad hominem, dismiss everything that everyone says, you know.
Attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically?
I don't care what anyone says. I missed that. That was amazing. Shut up. Don't be rude. Who was it who's talking about this the other day? Shane Gillis.
Can you imagine like just a regular debate now? After we witnessed the GOAT. Undefeated in debates. And he never said a fact. You know how impressive that is? He was funny and he argued like a fifth grader. He was unstoppable. People would try to hit him with statistics and facts. He would just go, wrong. Like, holy fuck, dude. How was no one prepared for this? Rand Paul is ugly? And the whole crowd was like, oh! Ted's wife, ugly as a dog. Like, dude. And Ted was like, I'm from Texas. You don't talk about a man's family like that. You've got a dog wife, Ted. It was like, everyone knows. What a big room this is. I walked in here, I said, wow, what a big room. That's it. Every time. Austin. A lot of homeless. I walked in here, I said, wow, that's a lot of homeless. A lot of tents. Why? My opponent's gay. I walked in, I saw him, I said, wow, this guy's gay. The shooter would be coming out, I'd be like, sit down. You're gay. You're gay.
Yeah, maybe that would help, just simplifying things and attacking the people that ask you awkward questions. You know, that would it'd be better than what they are doing.